I just wanted to share with you a quick message just to say thank you for taking this important step in investing in a premium care service for your loved one. Now, this is not just a quick phone call. This is a commitment to ensuring the highest quality of care and supports, and I commend you for prioritising what truly matters. Now, before we speak, take a few moments to reflect on the challenges you're currently facing. What are the barriers you're experiencing in care? What questions do you need answering? What perhaps is keeping you up at night? Write them down so you get the most out of your consultation. Now, please set aside 30 minutes in a quiet space where you can focus fully on this consultation. This is your time to gain clarity and explore how we can help. Now, I've worked in care for over 10 years, helping hundreds of families navigate complex situations. My team has worked in the community, helping families and their loved ones to live independently in the community for over 20 years. So don't just take my word for it. Keep watching to hear directly from families who've experienced the difference our premium service can make.
Wow, what a journey. And it all started with looking after my grandmother Daisy. I couldn't really picture or think that we would ever use a care company. When I first started looking after my grandmother, that was the last thing on my mind. But then over time, I actually needed that extra support during my hours to be able to do certain things like study and work and have placements and stuff. So I decided to take the step to look for a care company. Now, to begin with, we had to have that kind of, I think they call it resettlement or enablement service that the council do to see how increased the needs are since the last time my grandmother was assessed. And it came to light that she had increased needs. So we definitely needed dementia specialist carers. My grandmother had Alzheimer's and she had done for 10 years, although she took a big dip when my grandfather passed away. So as we were unraveling the care and how we could best support her, we got to a point where we decided to hire another agency. When we were looking, we were just thinking the worst, because in the news at that time, all we kept hearing about were horror stories about care companies, about care agencies. So that was a big fear of mine. And I just had to go in heads first and set out what we wanted for our grandmother at that time, and also what we expected from a care agency. So lo and behold, the first care company we come across was Care. And oh gosh, I just remember that interview with Arabel and Petronella. And I say interview because that's how I've pictured it in my head. We will have to interview people to look after our grandmother. But with Care, it was very much a conversation. It was very much an exchange of values of love and care and understanding as a family, a whole family, not just for the care of my grandmother. And the relationships just blossomed. Every single carer that came into our household were respectful. They honoured my grandmother as she was their mother. And it carried on like that for the years that they were supporting us. The only reason we actually stopped using care back then was because at that time they did not provide living care. But they do now. They do now. And I'm so happy about that, because that transition is so important when you're going through dementia care. It's so important to have that continuity of care, and to go from day centre care to home care to living care. What a brilliant transition to be able to keep the same care company. However, we did move on to others, and that was fine. But just that initial trust for a care company came from Keon. Keon set the bar high, and I mean high. Not only did they set the bar high, they also made sure that as a family, we were important to them. We were considered as a whole care package, and that was absolutely crucial. And I cannot thank them enough for their care, for their focus, for their efforts. And I'm trying not to get emotional, that's why it was just such a wonderful timing. Such wonderful timing, and we really appreciate everything that Care did for our family and with our family, because we worked together as a team, and it was just so important, so needed, and it's the kind of support that families need on a day-to-day basis, and not even just dealing with dementia-related illnesses, but just for the increased need and pressure of looking after loved ones in elderly age groups. So thank you. Thank you.
When it became apparent that our dad needed in-home health care, because I was in the field here in America, I became extremely concerned. And whilst visiting England, I said to my sister, "Do you have a company in mind?" And she said, Keon Care. I felt better, but I decided to delay returning to the States for a few weeks so that I could observe for myself the care that Keon Care was applying and giving to my dad. And I was very, very pleased and comfortable with the attention to care, with how the owner herself got involved, and also all of the attendants, the carers. And I'm thankful to endorse, give my stamped approval to anyone who is looking for care for their family.